It's really been one of those unprecedented seasons where the tailor fishing is being better and better through the winter. I'm talking about the Swan River, that is. Usually I'm down at the beaches chasing the big tailor over winter, but this year the Swan's really producing. I was out early first light this morning. I went for a troll for probably about an hour and a half, just cruising around the river, and then came back around to the bridge. I was using my 1 3 kilo Veritas with a 2500 reel, 4 pound braid, 10 pound leader. I had on the zip bait rig in 70 in gold. As from my last videos last year, it was one of my more productive trolling lures for the Tailor. So just cast it out behind me. If I do a decent enough cast, I'll close it up straight away. Otherwise, sometimes I'll roll the kayak out a bit, then close the bail arm just to give it a little bit more line out the back. Here it didn't really matter. I only moved about 5-10 meters and I was on. One thing that can happen, especially in the low light periods, is that you might sometimes get your braid wrapped around the end of your rod, and you got to be real careful when you're using 10 pound line as well, because if you do a few revolutions when you feel a little bit, you're just going to snap your line. Luckily I was able to get it untangled and the fish was still on. I changed over the hooks on the riggy pretty recently as well, so they were nice and sharp. Wasn't pulling a hell of a lot of line, but I knew it was going to give me one on the board, which is a little bit of a confidence booster anyway. So the size is 30 centimeters that you need. I'm not sure what this one was. I'd say it'd probably be somewhere from between 25 and 30, but I didn't even bother measuring it. I knew there was going to be some bigger ones around, so, well, I was hoping anyway. After it started pissing down with rain, I took a little bit of a shelter under the bridge. Here I was casting around a CRD shiver stick, and I was using a 2 to 4 kilo rod and a little bit heavier braid because, I had the reel locked up pretty tight because of all the structure here. I was hoping to get a few of the bigger tailor that were cruising in and out. I saw some commotion in the corner of my eye and I heard a big splash, so I assumed there was some tailor busting up out the front, so I quickly reeled in my line and scooted along. Tailor are schooling fish, so sometimes you really just got to capitalise when you can. And I often will fish with like headphones in, listening to music and whatnot, but sometimes it pays to sort of have everything quiet around you so you can hear the splashes and be more alert to when the fish are around. I'm just casting out here, letting it sink for a few seconds and doing a medium retrieve. It looks like I'm reeling in a little bit quicker because I've got the reel so close to the camera, but it's, more of a medium retrieve. Often those times when it just stops raining, the fish are going to come out and hit the bait that might be hiding under the bridge or hiding around structure. So once the rain stops, keep your eyes peeled, look for bust ups and see what you can get. Also, when it's overcast, it definitely extends that tailor bite window, in my opinion anyway. This one hit it literally probably 2 meters from the kayak. My drag was still set really tight from when I was casting around the really tight structure before. So I finally got the fish free and chucked it straight on the ice. I had a few, ice blocks in the cooler, so chucked him straight on the ice for a katsu fish recipe later on today. Again, the crappy net, I really need to get a new one. This took me about 5 minutes to get it untangled, and you really have to capitalise when you're chasing the Tailor and hit that bite window when they're around. Either way, I was out about 5 minutes later. Again, I saw another splash, so I reeled in as quick as I could and cast towards my left. Another lovely hookup. This one had a nice little bit of weight to it as well. The old CID shivers cleaning up for me lately in the Swan. So I quickly dispatched this one for the cook up later. Old mate here though was bloody lockjaw on the lure, and then the lure got caught in the net again. And it really ruined the rest of my fishing window, I think. Next time I probably should have just snipped off the lure and kept on fishing with something different, but either way, still happy with a couple of fish. If anyone's got some recommendations for a better sort of kayak net where you don't get all the trebles caught in and whatnot, I think this is supposed to be a good one for the, catch and release, but it's just a nightmare with the trebles. Either way, couple of nice fish. So I filleted these up. I was going to cook a Katsu Curry dish today. I originally was going to cook something else. I left the skin on, but I did take that off later on. So the key to a good katsu curry is the curry sauce. So pretty simple recipe. Start off by dicing up a whole carrot. This is all going to be blended later, so you don't have to be too neat and tidy with it. So then I'll dice up a whole onion. Then 2 or 3 cloves of garlic. Then a little thumb of ginger. I just used what I had left in the fridge. I'll chuck this into a pan with a little bit of olive oil and then let it simmer for about 10 minutes, stirring regularly. For the sauce, a couple of teaspoons of flour, a few spoons of curry powder, just your standard one's fine. This was a Japanese version, but like normal Keen's curry powder will be fine too. Then add in 2 cups of chicken stock, a splash of mirin, a splash of soy sauce, and probably about a teaspoon of honey as well. Blitz that up and it's pretty much ready. You can heat it up again when you need it. So for the crumb, just salt and pepper. I put a bit of Japanese seasoning in there as well with the flour, then your egg wash, and then panko crumbs. So pretty simple. Put it into some oil. I've got a neutral oil, which is just canola oil, and then you cook it probably about 90 seconds on one side, a minute on the other. I'll lift up the fillets and have a little peek, and really you're just looking to see when it's nice and brown and crunchy. But yeah, you can't go wrong if you're a minute and a half on each side or 2 minutes each side, something along those lines. Wife doesn't really like river fish, so I've cooked her up some katsu chicken. I'll then slice up my fillet, put it over some white rice, and pour over that delicious curry sauce. That curry sauce is next level as well. You can just dip hot chips in it and whatnot. It's so good. I've got a bit of coleslaw as well, which I've used QP mayo and a little bit of lemon juice to season as well. Got to have the QP mayo with Japanese. This was next level. For more Perth Metro videos and catch and cook, please subscribe. Feel free to ask any questions in the comments section.